Hello and welcome to another Somewherecold Records vlog. I'm Jason, and I'm the owner and curator of Somewherecold Records, as well as the blog owner of somewherecold.net, and we have an Etsy store and a number of other things. So all the trails that you can follow to Somewherecold, whether on social media, if you can still stand social media at this moment, you can find the links in the comments below in the little blurb underneath the video. What I wanted to talk to you about today is actually what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, and it is a special day. Because Bandcamp is going to donate all of their proceeds to the NAACP. They provide legal defense for poor people and minorities and people who have been the target of racism and have been arrested for things like protesting and so forth. So Bandcamp is going all out and giving away all of the money that is spent on Bandcamp that they usually take from for us being there, right? Using their platform, and the cost of us being there and utilizing it for good. So tomorrow is a special day in that regard. The NAACP is the organization that we raised money for with the Resistance compilation 2 years ago, I believe. Had a great response. For a young label, I was pretty happy. We donated $250. I included any fee that I had to pay so that it would, build the fund up a little bit. And I'm hoping tomorrow we can really push forward to get Bandcamp some of that money as well. I just want you to know also in July, it looks like we're gonna make it. I have a compilation coming out on Somewherecold Records that will be funding or help funding the ACLU. So we're trying to get all of these groups as much money as they can so that they can help protesters, so that they can help minorities, so that they can combat racism and, get people educated, especially those of us who have taken a while to catch up. Tomorrow is also special for another reason. I have two rather big releases coming out. One is Winterwood. I know that Winterwood is not always on your radars, but if you're an ambient fan or you want relaxing music or you just want some incredible soothing music, they are the masters. They've been around for a long time, actually. They're in New Zealand. And they have an album on the label called Forest. So if you don't have that, I would go get that as well. And this piece is a 3-disc set, and it is, you can see it's in this packaging, and it comes with an insert, and 3 discs are 3 long-form meditation loop sets. So it's very soothing and very meditative and will mesmerize you. I think that you should pick one up, and pick one up tomorrow because the NAACP really needs as much help as they can get. The other album is one that has gone through a lot of issues in terms of production. So about the time we were ready to order, some things happened and out of our control. So we had to postpone, and then we were ready to pull the trigger, and coronavirus hit. So that caused a lot of problems. My duplicator duplicated all the CDs and got to the end of the process and then didn't ship them and abandoned their post. So, and they were told to. So the governor of California said, "Don't work, get behind doors, and stay safe." The problem was they weren't answering emails. So I had to out of desperation, call my credit card company and revoke the funds, because it had been more than a month and a half, almost 2, before I'd heard from them. You know, I hadn't heard anything from them, so I had no idea that they were coming back or what was going on. So I found another duplicator, and we got the CDs in our hands, which was kind of monumental for us. If you go to the Somewherecold website, there are a number of singles with various B-sides on them. I highly recommend you get those. But it's the Microdance CD that's coming out. It's in a jewel case. It's our only jewel case release. And you can see here on the back, and open it up for you just to give you a little sneak peek of the insides. It is a fantastic psych, grunge, sludgy, shoegaze sort of album, and I highly recommend any shoegaze fan, any psych fan, anybody that likes those genres and are into those that sort of music. I highly recommend Microdance. If you like Outward, for example, that's a good pairing on the label, is Outward and the Microdance. Oh, as well as Tombstones in Their Eyes. So if I was setting up a Somewherecold gig and I could have 3 artists that sounded, the same within that genre, or, fit really well together, I'd set up a gig like that in a heartbeat. Anyway, on Monday, I'm going to announce it here because I'm in control. It's my label. And Monday I'm going to announce the next Icebox. So for those of you who don't know what Iceboxes are, they are mini discs that come in these little jewelry box cases. I make them up at home myself. I actually love these. They're very fun and unique and sort of old school. And this one is for a new John the Silent release. It's a new EP of his. This one has an image under the cover. We've never done that before. And has a cotton heart in it. Very beautiful. Of course, your typical Somewherecold sticker, record sticker. And then your insert, let's see, let me get this out of here. Insert here, printed in-house and cut. And then a mini CD. Of course, just like any Bandcamp thing, you'll get the digital download when you purchase it, or when it comes out, I should say. This should be going up on Monday. We generally only sell like 10 to 12 of these at a time. They go pretty quickly. So if you're interested and you're an ambient fan, I highly recommend it. Also, we have some more of the Temple Orb special editions. So, yeah. Or Orb Temple, excuse me. From Orgaze. These came out so great, and I highly recommend them. And there's also an Icebox that comes with a select few of those. Those are still available, and I'd love to see you scoop them up. The last thing I wanted to sort of talk about before I highlight an artist or talk about some of the stuff that's coming or going on is I've started a Kickstarter. It's sort of me dipping my toe in the pool of seeing if there's enough interest, or we can generate enough interest for the label through vinyl. I admittedly used my own album for that. It's a Corrupting Sea album. It's probably the album I've spent the most time on, just really shaping things and really taking careful selection of sounds and textures to go throughout the album, because it is dedicated to my partner. She's the best human being on the planet, and I wanted to make something that she would love. So I'm hoping that you'll contribute to the Kickstarter. The link will be, of course, down at the bottom. And I would love for it to make. We're almost at $1,000, and we need about 2,800 to make it go. I decided to work with 180 gram vinyl. I really love 180 gram vinyl. I like the way it feels in my hands. I like the way the packaging feels when the vinyl is inside. But I didn't record in a big studio, and I've been told by some that maybe that's not a good idea. And I went and did some research because, of course, this is the first time I'm sort of doing a vinyl release myself. And I was told by some others that the great thing about 180 gram vinyl is not just that you can get deeper grooves and get higher fidelity, which you might not need for something you've done on your laptop at home or had mixed, which I think Toby from Orange Crate Art will actually make all the dynamics come up in the mix, and the fidelity will be great because he will have touched the album. He always makes me sound better than I should. And but 180 gram vinyl tends to not warp, right? It sticks around for a longer amount of time. So I'm sticking with that for now. It's what I've promised on the Kickstarter. I mean, you can change it midway in terms of that, but I kind of don't want to. I'd like to get this one out on 180 gram. And the packaging will be a gatefold. So it'll have one side with large artwork, and then large artwork on the inside, large artwork where the vinyl pouch goes, and then large artwork on the back. So it'll come in a black sleeve. There are a number of rewards, including some of the last copies of some of my older albums are in groupings, and I put up recently a grouping of splits that I've done with other artists. Those other artists will get paid if those CDs sell as well. And of course the CD of the album itself. So the CD's already been ordered. It's already on its way. I'm trying to put whatever I can in motion so that when we get to ordering vinyl, the only piece of the puzzle that we really have left is a vinyl copy to get into our hands, right? So that'll be the longest process. I've projected a March release for the vinyl, and that means for everything else as well. But if it makes earlier, I mean, my understanding is you can, shut it down and collect the money. I'm not sure. So again, trying to figure out how this works. The other thing is I have personally asked Bandcamp to open their vinyl campaign to Somewherecold Records, because some record labels have access to that. And their first question to me was what album and which artist. So that's like asking me to pick among my favorite children. Like, it's like asking me what my favorite album is that I've made. I actually have an answer to that. But, most people think that, all of their albums are an expression of the time in which they were made. So I had to pick. I had to pick somebody. So I picked the highest selling album on the label ever. And that's the Bury Me Jets Careless album. So I'm hoping that we can get a Kickstarter. It's not really a Kickstarter, it's on Bandcamp. The nice thing is Bandcamp is using Pirates Press. And Pirates Press, they are high quality. I really love what I've seen from them in terms of records I've bought and known that were pressed there. So I am excited that Bandcamp is using that. So we'll see what comes of that. I sort of have an outline for a Kickstarter version of Careless's launch. But, we'll give it a little time between the Corrupting Sea launch and doing something with careless, because it's my impression that, you know, you lose money if things don't make. You have to still pay a fee of some kind. So I'm asking for your help. I really would love to make this happen. I honestly only want one album in my lifetime on vinyl. I'm not that ambitious in terms of wanting everything I've ever done on vinyl. So, you know, if it happens, if I have the money or a record label picks me up at some point, I would be stoked to have more vinyl in my catalog of releases. But I'm not gonna hold my breath. This is my one shot, I think. This is the one I want on vinyl. And anyway. Oh, another thing is the CD version of the track is a continuous 40-minute track, and then for the vinyl, that was too long. So, and I wanted to keep some room for grooves to be wide, because there's some bass in there and a number of other things. So I cut the album down. It's about 18 minutes and change aside, and they are cut down into movements, so singular songs. It's two different listening experiences, but I think the result is the same. It's very, very soothing and nice. I mean, my wife thinks it's soothing, so. All right, so I would like to talk a little bit about the back catalog. Let me talk about Zombie Girl a little bit. This little ditty came out in, I can't keep track of the years anymore, 2018. This is a Cold 021 release. We are now on 70. We just did the artwork for the 70th version or release in the catalog. So I'm getting really excited. We're working our way towards 100 here. But this little spark plug of dream pop, sort of brief, explosive, is an amazing little record. It didn't get much notice, and I tried to push it for blogs and magazines and what have you. I do what I can. I'm only one person, and I can't afford promo. So this is something I highly recommend you go back into the back catalog and take a listen, see what you think. I would highly recommend it. So anyway, that is what's coming up. There is also pre-order up for Backwards Charm. Backwards Charm, those CDs are done, they're here. That's going forward for sure, and their album comes out in August. So get those pre-orders in before the 100 discs are gone. Another thing about the compilation that will be coming out in July, that will be for the ACLU, is you'll get to see some names on there that are signed to the label that you don't know about. So that's kind of exciting. It's kind of a way of introducing you to some of the future artists. They have not been announced, some of them, and the only people that are on the compilation are Somewherecold Records artists. I also plan on doing a compilation, hopefully maybe in November or so, depending on which way things swing and where we're at as a society, but do another fundraiser and open it to non-Somewherecold Records artists everywhere. Perhaps doing an ambient one and a shoegaze, dream pop, sort of psych rock one, and make a fundraiser out of that. I'd really love to donate to the Trevor Project at some point. So that's it for today. I hope that tomorrow you come to Bandcamp, come by the label, make a bunch of purchases, make all the purchases, buy all my stock, please. And pre-order the albums, get the albums that come out tomorrow. You will not be disappointed in the music, I promise. And help a great cause, the NAACP, as they push forward to help people in need specifically people of color and poor people and people who need lawyers to help them work through a system that is quite complicated and works not in their favor at all. So be kind to one another and listen to music. I mean, what else can we do besides march and donate and advocate? So be good be good allies. All right, I will talk to you next time. Thanks.